And we are live. Okay. Well, hi everybody in Facebook land. This is Nathan Ray from Rays of Hope. And hopefully you're seeing some of this live. And if you aren't seeing it live, then hopefully you're seeing it recorded and you're still going to enjoy it. We got a little bit later start today than we had hoped because we ran into a few technical issues. Hence, I'm sitting here and you have a computer screen to look at rather than a projection on the wall, because what we learned is that it's very difficult to have me and the projection on the wall work on Facebook Live. It wants to pick up either me or the slide, and I want you to be able to see both a little bit. Thanks for understanding. I appreciate it. So we are here to talk today about how to heal when you have to deal. Specifically today, we're getting this started because of the stay at home, stay safe orders that have been going around as the world, our country, our county, our city, and our homes are trying to deal with the COVID-19 pandemic, as it was termed, because of the way that it has spread throughout the world and through multiple sources. We wanted to bring you some ideas. We're going to keep this short and sweet. We're going to do videos every couple of days, and hopefully you'll tune in, and hopefully we'll have the technology going a little bit better for you next time. So how to heal when you have to deal. What we wanted to talk about first today is framing. And framing, when we talk about it with like carpenters and construction folks, what we're talking about there is that when you think about a construction site and they've started building and they've got the foundation down and they start to take it and start to put the beams in, right? And you see them put in, beams up and down and crosswise, and they're bracing each other, and you can start to see how all of the structure for that building is taking place. That's what we call framing. So it's bringing things in and saying, this is going to be this area, this is going to be this room, this is going to be this section of the home, this is going to be the floor, this is going to be another floor, etc. When we're talking about framing, as we're trying to deal with stress, trauma, overwhelmed emotions, what we're talking about is the lens in which we are putting on things. So, if we come back over to the screen, thank you to my wonderful wife, Peggy, and co-owner, who's manning the camera right now, staffing the camera. The words that we use in our internal voice are what determines how we see the world. So if I'm constantly finding the negatives, finding the limitations, then what I'm going to see the world is as a very dark place that's putting lots of limitations, putting lots of restrictions, kind of putting the handcuffs on and saying, hey, you can't do the things that you would normally do. You can't do the things that you would like to do. You can't just go, oh, shoot, I'm out of milk. I'm going to run down to the corner store. Because we're supposed to only go out for necessary things, those essential things. I can't just run out and go, you know something, let's have a date night. We're going to go watch a movie, get some popcorn and some candy, and be out and away for a couple of hours. Instead, we're staying in our homes. Well, the reason that we're staying in our homes, if we frame it in a positive light, is because we're doing our part to keep other people safe. So if I don't go to the store to get that gallon of milk right now, and instead I wait until I have a number of essential items so that I'm not constantly running out, then I'm lessening my potential exposure to people who may or may not have COVID-19, may or may not have flu, common cold, any of the other human diseases that we've got out there. And so I'm not going to get myself sick, hopefully. As well, if I have anything going on, I'm not exposing any of the people at the store to that. When we have the movie theater shut down, when we have retail shops shut down and restaurants and everything like that, we're not gathering in groups. Instead, what we're doing is we're coming together and we're staying safe and saying, wow, I really like you. I would really like to spend time with you. And I'm going to find other ways to do that. Some of you may have seen this meme going around a little bit. I'm not sure how well it's going to come across here. But these are some ideas around a mindset that we can use in order to maintain that positive inner talk as we are staying socially united and physically distanced. So if we look at things as I'm staying home and I'm staying safe and I'm keeping my family safe, that's a very positive thing. That's a proactive thing. It makes me feel as if I am actually taking action and I'm doing something in order to limit the spread of whatever's happening. I'm going to look at the screen real quick. So another negative thing is around, oh, I'm going to get sick. Or, oh, every person out there has the potential of getting me sick. Unfortunately, we do hear that a lot on the media. And when you see news reports and when you see things on social media and all the different forms of media, when you hear on the radio, etc., you hear a lot about, oh, be careful, wear masks and protective gear and all of these types of different things. And the reality is that what you're doing when we're staying home and staying healthy is we're saying, I'm limiting my exposure and I'm staying healthy. I'm working for myself, I'm working for my wife, I'm working for my kids, whoever else may be in the home with you. I'm working for my roommate, whoever that may be, right? And so what we're doing then is we're taking steps to keep them from getting sick and lessen the chances. That's a very positive way to look at staying home. I'm going to check my notes again. So panic buying. Right? Who here has enough TP to get through the next week or two? If you've got enough TP to get through the next week or two, you're okay. But what we had was a whole lot of people going, oh my gosh, there's a pandemic and everybody's going to get sick. And oh, I'm going to be locked in my house for the next month. I better go out and buy everything and I'm not going to leave anything on the shelves. And so we saw pictures and videos of people fighting, and it looked like a Black Friday sale, except instead of TVs and Nintendos and Wiis and Xbox Ones, people were fighting over Charmin and Angel Soft. And they were trying to get all the wipes that they could and the hand sanitizer. And then later that afternoon, when people had gone home with a month or 2 month or 3 month supply, the people who needed some to get through the next week weren't able to find any on the shelves. And unfortunately, we hit the system really, really hard, and it took it a while to recover. Hopefully, you've heard that at this point of where things are at, supply chains are returning to normal, and you can go out and get the basics that you need. So that's good news. So if we look at it and go, I'm going to get what I need in order to make sure that I can get through, not I'm going to panic buy, not I'm going to stock up like it's doomsday and I have to survive for the next month on whatever I have in my hall closet. You're helping yourself, but you're also helping your neighbors. You're helping your community. You're helping your family members who may be nearby. And keeping things, you hear the term flattening the curve. That's one of the common phrases these days. And you're flattening the curve on the supply chain because they're not ready for everybody to go and buy 2 months worth of TP. They're not ready for everybody to go and buy 2 months worth of hand sanitizer. But if people need a week or two supply, which is about normal that a lot of people buy, then you're probably going to be good. And they're going to be good. And our neighbors and our communities are going to be good. And let's see, okay, so everything's shutting down. So that's been a big piece there. Some more panic that's going on. is, oh, I'm not going to be able to go to the stores. Oh, I'm not going to be able to get this done. I'm not going to be able to get that done. And instead, what we look at is we go, wow, this is amazing that we're able to come together as a community, whether that community is your city, whether that community is your county, your state, at this point, you know, at a federal level. And we can say, we're going to put limitations in. And yes, we know that tightening things up and having less access right now isn't always easy. But we're doing it so that we can come back. And we can come back strong without the number of deaths and illnesses and other issues that would be going on if we weren't taking these steps right now. I'm going to move on from the reframing and the framing, but I want you to remember, look for what's the positive thing that I'm doing, not what's the negative thing that's happening to me. And that's a big piece. When you're looking for the positive that you're doing, as opposed to the negative that's happening to you, it gives you a whole lot more power over what you're doing, and it gives you a whole lot more power up here in order to be able to be successful in what you're doing. I want to talk a little bit right now, though, to bring this to a close today. I want to talk a little bit about a couple of different things that could be helpful and useful as you're at home, as you're an essential worker who's out there at the grocery store, the community resource center, at, you know, the gas stations, as you're that frontline essential worker in the medical field, at a hospital or a clinic or something along those lines. Little things that we can do to take care of ourselves throughout the day, because stress is not just mental, it's also physical. People hold it in a lot of different places, and so I'm hoping that if I stand up, we can still keep the video. Okay. All right. So for me, when I get stressed and I've got lots of things going on, what happens for me is that right along here in the shoulder starts to get tight. And if that starts to get tight and I don't do something about it, then what can happen is that can come up my neck, it can go down my back, and it can start to cause lots of pain rather than just discomfort. For other people, we've got the picture on the screen there, but for other people, it's really that lower back. Other people may have migraines. You may have something going on with your jaw, so you've got like a little toothache. You may feel sinus pain that you know is actually not sinus pain from like allergies or anything like that, but instead it's actually that stress, and that's where it's coming for you. For some people, they get really, really tired. For other people, they have insomnia. Lots of different things, and we're going to go into some of those things more in future sessions. But for today, I want to just run through 3 quick, easy things that you can do no matter what your situation is and no matter how stressed out you are. So the first one is the shoulder roll. And the shoulder roll, what we're going to do is we're going to do a series of 3, and we're going to roll our shoulders forward 5 times, pause, take a breath, and then roll our shoulders backward 5 times. So I'll show you what that looks like. I'm going to stand. I've got my feet on the ground, both feet on the ground. I don't have my legs crossed or anything. And I can do this standing, or I can do this sitting. And one of the important things then is to have your feet on the ground. And that helps just keep you calm. It helps keep you centered, and you're good to go. So I'm just going to real quickly imagine that I'm sitting at a desk. I'm working. Things have been getting crazy. And I just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I breathe. And I exhale. And then I go backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, if this was an interactive class, which is what I'm used to teaching, so I've got lots of people around, I'm going to run you through that 3 times going forward, taking a breath, going backwards, taking, and then 5 times on each one of those rolls. And you're going to go through that 3 times. I can tell you, having done that just the one time there, I felt a little crack in my neck that tells me that, oh yeah, I had some tension going on. So just doing it once right there already tells me, okay, hey, yep, I need to make sure I'm taking care of myself. Because if I don't take care of myself, it's going to be really hard for me to take care of anybody else. The next one I want to show you is the 4-7-8 breathing. And I'm going to count out loud while I'm doing it. But again, standing or sitting, I get my feet on the ground. I get myself in a relaxed position. The 4-7-8, we go through a cycle of 4 times. I'm going to do it once here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to breathe in to a count of 4. I'm going to hold for a count of 7. And then I'm going to exhale for a count of 8. And then I would go through that 3 more times. So I'm going to inhale. And then I'm going to hold. And then I'm going to exhale. And what that does then is that gives me the oxygen, it fills my lungs up, I hold it there to try and inflate them, and then I'm pushing that out so that the stale air from the bottom of my lungs is getting pushed out so that it can be renewed on that next cycle that I do. 4-7-8 breathing. The last one, not everybody's going to be able to do this, but I wanted to give you something that gives you just a little bit of activity. And so this last one then is what's called a deep knee bend. For some people, it's going to be a really good thing just to have something to help you balance. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to do this one twice because I'm going to do it once facing the camera and then once turned sideways. And what I'm going to do, this again is going to be a cycle of 3, just like what we did with the shoulder rolls. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down so that my posterior is almost touching my heels and my knees and thighs are going pretty much straight. I'm going to hold that for a 5 count, and then I'm going to stand back up and make sure that I stand all the way straight back up. So I have my hand here for balance, and I'm going to do the deep knee bend, and I'm going to come down, and so my thighs and knees are straight. I'm going to hold that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'm going to straighten back up. I'm going to bring my shoulders up. Take that breath. Let it out. And then I'm going to go back down. So I'm going to do that sideways so that you can see what it looks like that direction too. So again, I have something to hold on to for my balance. And I'm going to go down so that my thighs and knees are straight there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'm going to come back up. And I'm going to make sure I straighten my shoulders, and I'm going to take that deep cleansing breath. And then I've done that twice now, so I would do it 3 more times in order to complete the cycle. And the reason the cycle is important is because whether it's a cycle of 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, whatever it may be, on those cycles, that's important to do because that way you're getting the full effect. And as your blood gets going, as your muscles get some movement, as your lungs are coming in and out and you're exchanging that air, it allows that process to really go through and really help your body so that you're getting the full effect. Hopefully this has been entertaining. Hopefully we'll have our technology figured out for the next one a little bit better. But I really appreciate your time today. I do want to remind you that we're calling this How to Heal When You Have to Deal. These are just little tips for how to get through a stressful time, no matter where you may be. If you'd like to learn more, please go ahead and contact us. Like our Facebook page, reach out to us on the web, raysofhopellc.org. Thank you very much. This has been Nathan Ray. We appreciate you. Thank you for all you're doing.